Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone who have joined. And thank you for joining the webinar on troubleshooting iVend retail in providing level 1 and level 2 support. My name is Sameer Batra and I am the head of support at City Access. We are confident that after attending these sessions, you will be able to troubleshoot and attend customer queries and reduce the turnaround time. After this session, we will be having Q&A session, that is question and answer session, and we'll also be delivering you detailed troubleshooting guide through email, but after all these sessions are completed by Friday. I do understand that some of you requested the guide to be delivered yesterday also and day before yesterday, but as discussed within City Access and with our management, we will be delivering the guide to you after the Friday session. So let's start with the topics we are covering today. So we would be discussing today the first issue, that is inventory mismatch among SAP B1, iVend Enterprise and stores. And the second issue that we would be discussing with you, the common errors, those are received by City Access support in integration between SAP B1 and iVend Enterprise. So let's proceed. The most common issue regarding the inventory mismatch is reported mostly by the store managers when either they are unable to receive the stock transfer or the inventory is not available at point of sale. Then they raise the issue with the support that inventory is not available. So the activity that we basically undertake is called inventory matching. But we cannot blindly do the inventory matching. First, we need to find out the reason that why the inventory mismatch happened. So I will explain it through an example so that it will be very much easy to understand that how inventory mechanism first works. Okay. So let's say this is the inventory header, a product, code or key or warehouse key, and it could be available quantity. Let's keep it simple for the moment. Supposedly you have started the business today, okay, and the product code is 1001 and the warehouse code is 1002, okay, and today you have started the business. So initially the initial quantity will be 0, okay. Now in order to make so you cannot do business with 0. Now you can do the business with 0 quantity, but you have to enable a setting in enterprise in iVend, allow negative inventory, then only you can do business without inventory. So in this case, let's say that that specific setting is not enabled, that is allow transactions with negative inventory. So you need the inventory at store. So in this case, you will do a GR, okay, GR, that is good receipt, okay, for the same product and same warehouse key, and quantity will be, let's say it is 100, okay. Now this item I have undertaken is neither a serial track or a batch track. I will come back to you on serial track and batch track items later on because I don't want to make the things complex at the beginning. So what will happen in the inventory logs, this product key and this warehouse key will be having there are two columns in the inventory logs. One is out quantity and the other one is in quantity. So because this is a GR, that is a good receipt, that means you are adding something to your stock. So out quantity will be 0 because you are not reducing it, and the in quantity, okay, will be 100. So automatically here also, okay, when you create a log, okay, log will automatically update the inventory headers. So this will become 100. Okay. Now supposedly, okay, I take another example. Now the first document was the GR. Now the second one was sales. Okay. And the first sale happened and the quantity that was sold, okay, was 10. Okay. So again in the inventory logs, an entry will be created for, in this case, because the product has been sold. So the in quantity will be 0 and out quantity will be 10. And as soon as the entry in log is created, this available quantity and in stock quantity and other columns get updated in the inventory header. So this becomes 90. Now let's do a quick thing. Let's paste the same thing again and again. Sorry. Okay. Now, how many entries are here? There are 9 entries. Okay. So all these are sales. Okay. So let's copy this and let's again copy this one more time. Okay. So if I take a summation of these two columns, one is 90 and the other one is 100. Okay. So uh, summation of, if you want to calculate this, that whether this is correct or not, okay, it will be summation of in quantity uh, minus summation of uh, out quantity, and here in this case it will be 10. Okay, so let's say inventory logs are getting replicated correctly and inventory is getting updated correctly, then this value, summation of in minus summation of out, should match the inventory header. Okay, let's say this is 20. Okay, I'm taking another example. At HO it is 20, but at store it is 10. So in this case, we could say that the store inventory is correct, but HO inventory is incorrect. Now you check the database or you executed some reports and you are able to figure out that all these 9 transactions, sales transaction, received, reached HO and reached SAP also, and in SAP also the quantity is 10, but at HO it is 20. So at that point of time we have to check if any missing inventory logs is missing at HO or not. If the sales document has reached HO and SAP V1 or any other ERP, but inventory logs have not been replicated correctly to the HO or to the other stores, then also inventory mismatch will surface. Okay. So in order to correct this, we have to check which particular inventory log was not correctly replicated to the HO and from HO to all other stores. The other thing that is of main consideration is that we don't post inventory related details to the SAP or to any other ERP. Okay. Now, when we receive a document from SAP, sometimes a delta inventory update is generated from the event to update the inventory in iVend is sometimes generated from the ERP. So that delta update sometimes we do receive from the SAP in when a stock transfer is cancelled or something is if a stock transfer is cancelled. So in this case, Now you are able to figure out that inventory log is of utmost importance when we are checking inventory within iVend. Okay, so this was one case that I have demonstrated to you through an Excel sheet as an example. Okay, now to correct this, if you are able to find out, suppose let's say this particular transaction, okay, the inventory log that was generated from this particular transaction never reached HO or to other stores, then the best way would be to regenerate the replication event for this inventory log, and it will reach HO and other stores, and it will automatically update the available quantity to 10. So this will resolve the issue. Now, in the case of serials and batch track items, okay, I will just again, I will remove all this, okay, and now I will take into the consideration a batch track item. Suppose a batch track item is 1003, okay, and initially the GR was done, it was 100, okay. So the batch will look like this. It will be having product key, warehouse key. This will be the batch master. Okay. Now this is the batch master. Okay. We need to add one more column that is called batch number. Okay. Now let's say the batch is ABC. Okay. Now if you see over here, now this batch can consume the whole available quantity in the batch master. But there could be a situation where a product is having multiple batches, and it could be like 75 and 25. Now, summation of this available quantity in batch master should be equivalent to the inventory header. Now, 75 plus 25 should be equal to available quantity in the inventory header, that is 100. Okay. So, now what will happen? Let's clear the logs back again. Okay. Now we will again take an example of a sales transaction. Okay. Now with the sales transaction, let's take into consideration these records back again. Okay. This is a batch track item. Yes, it is a batch track item. And the quantity that was sold was 10. Okay. So here in this case, another record will come, that is batch key, that is the, or let's say batch number. Okay. We will take right now batch number. Let's not go to the internal mechanism of primary keys. We will take batch number. Okay. Batch number. Okay. ABC. Okay. 10. Okay. 10 items were sold. Now 10 were sold. 10 were sold. Okay. Now with this XYZ, 10 was again sold. Okay. So an out quantity. Okay. And then again. Okay. Now 4 times the batch was sold. Okay. Now according to this sheet, the inventory header should be 40. Okay. If you see over here, this batch number was sold 3 times. So 30 will get reduced from the ABC batch number and it will come to 45. And below the XYZ batch number will become 15. Now, this is 60 and this should also be 60 because it was 100. Now, if these values match, okay, then your inventory is balanced. But as I said earlier, the way we have inventory logs, the same way we have batch logs also. So if a document gets replicated to the head office, that is iVend Enterprise, successfully, and it also gets integrated into the SAP very well. But when you are comparing the inventory between Enterprise and SAP V1, there could be a mismatch. Then in this case, the best thing will be to check whether the batch logs and inventory logs both were replicated to the HO or not. If they were replicated to the head office, that is enterprise, and to other stores, then the inventory between ERP and iVend should always match. So you always need to check in the case of batches, inventory logs and batch logs both. Okay. Now on the same line, we will take another example of serials. If a product is serial tracked, okay, let's take this example. Change the product code to 1004 and let's say the quantity is 5. Okay, let's remove all of this. Okay, this one replaces this one and one. Now, as we have mentioned, the quantity, available quantity is 5. That is, you are able to sell 5 serial numbers, 5 products. Okay. Now, in the case of batches, okay, you could see that a single batch was holding somewhere around 45 or 75 quantity. But in the case of serial, okay, the quantity for a single serial number will always be 1. Okay. Now the next one could be ABCD and TUV, or it could be generally we use numeric numbers for serial numbers. So it could be like this, serial number 10000001. Okay. Now, okay. So available quantity will always remain 1 and product and warehouse key can be same. But serial number, if you see over here, is getting modified. So when you are basically selling a product, okay, that is a serial tracked, then suppose a sales transaction happened, okay, and serial number is this, and quantity will remain 1 because every serial is a unique, okay, it cannot be duplicated. So in this case, there happened to be 3 transactions, okay, every time one quantity was sold of a particular serial number. Okay, now we will copy this and paste it over here, here, here. Okay, in quantity remains 000. Okay, now let's say we have sold top 3. Okay, now this quantity in serial we have a status column, not the available quantity. Okay, now this will become 2, 2, 2. In the status column, when the entry is 2, it means the serial has been sold. Okay, so we will also share the data dictionary after Friday's session, so you can understand the schema as well of the iVend database. So as these 3 serial numbers are sold, okay, and this particular quantity was sold, the out quantity is 1, so this will automatically become 2. Okay, now again going back to the last two things that I have been telling you, that if the item is neither batch track or not serial track, then you have to check only inventory logs. In the second example, I demonstrated to you that if it is a batch track item, then you need to check whether the batch log and inventory logs were also replicated to the iVend enterprise and to other stores. If they are not, then there will be inventory mismatch. The third thing again here will be, because right now we are taking into consideration a serial tracked item. So you need to check inventory logs and serial logs also, whether these two logs were replicated properly to head office or not. Also, please don't touch the database or try to copy the records manually. Always generate a replication event in terms of inventory logs or any other logging mechanism, because when a log is generated, okay, there are certain background processes that come into the picture. So if you are manually copying the logs from one store DB to enterprise or enterprise to other stores, it will not update the inventory at all. You have to generate, or you have to ask City Access to generate the replication event. Those got skipped, or due to n number of reasons, data could not be replicated to the head office or to the stores. So a replication event will basically replicate the data to the enterprise and to other stores, and it will also update the inventory header accordingly. So apart from this, I think there is a question. Hi Connie, thanks for a question. I think you joined 5 minutes late. So in regard to the guide, I have already clarified that after uh, Friday's session, okay, that is the last session, uh, our communication team, Marcom team, will basically send you all these artifacts that I have been using in this training. Okay, so I think I have answered your question. Let's go back to the session. So now, because you have understood the inventory mechanism, that how it works between iVend, within iVend landscape, now we will discuss how the iVend inventory mechanism works in the integrated mode. So please note that every time it is very much important to understand that when we are checking inventory between the ERP and iVend landscape, don't check the inventory headers directly. Okay. Now you can check the header to check. Suppose if I say after 5 days, okay, you have to do a reconciliation of inventory between the ERP and iVend. Then definitely you will check the headers. But when you will check the headers, when the integration queue, all the documents from iVend to ERP and from ERP to iVend are integrated with each other. Any of the documents that is having an impact on the inventory, like purchase order, GRPO, good receipt, goods issue, goods return, sales invoices, refunds, and special orders, and stock transfer shipments, all these uh, items that I have just described basically impact the inventory automatically. Okay, so you need to ensure first that all these documents, okay, are integrated by the receiving system. If it is ERP, then ERP should be able to receive all the documents. If it is the iVend, then iVend should be receiving all the documents. Then only you should be doing the inventory reconciliation between iVend and the ERP. Supposedly, if the documents are not integrated, okay, then okay, I will take up an example. Suppose uh, a sales invoice for a particular product happened at iVend. The initial inventory was 100 and 10 items were sold. The header is 90. Okay. Now the sales invoice document is stuck somewhere in the middleware, in the integration, and it is unable to get integrated to the SAP B1, for example. Okay. Now SAP is showing that it is still having the 100 inventory. Okay. Now if you do the inventory reconciliation, it will never provide the correct results, because that sales invoice document is still pending to be integrated to the SAP B1 or any other ERP. Once the document gets integrated into the ERP and then you do the reconciliation, then you will be able to see, okay, both of them are 90 in the ERP and at the iVend landscape itself. So let's move back to the PPT again. Let's see what we have covered. So here again, to quickly do a recap, the first line says the ideal scenario to check is replication should be clear between iVend store and enterprise. Okay. Reason if replication is not clear and there are certain inventory item logs, those or serial logs or batch logs, those are still pending to be replicated to the enterprise and to other stores. Then also between store and iVend enterprise, the inventory mismatch will persist. So you always need to take the utmost care that when you are doing the inventory reconciliation between 2 points, that is the iVend enterprise on one side and on the other side it is store, then you need to ensure replication is all clear at both the ends, from HO to store and store to HO. Same way, when you're doing a inventory reconciliation between SAP B1 or any other ERP and iVend enterprise, then you need to ensure replication is also is totally clear, and also the integration queue is clear, as I just informed you a few minutes back. Okay, this we have already covered, non-managed, that is normal items, and serial and batch track items. This thing we have already covered. Okay. I think we have already covered this. Okay. So let me do a quick recap of mismatch once again. Suppose there could be a case, as per our experience with the iVend and other products. So suppose if a mismatch still persists and you have checked everything at iVend, so the first thing that you need to do is perform a roll-up at iVend first. That is to check if the logs are revealing the same information that the inventory header is revealing. If that piece of information does not match, then you need to raise a ticket with the support and we will perform the roll-up. Don't perform the roll-up on your own, that is summation of in quantity minus summation of out quantity, because there is a specific formula through which we update the in stock and available quantity. The other way around is, suppose integration and replication is all clear, and at iVend side, when you are checking, okay, your inventory matches between HO and store, and they both are at similar point, okay, but it is disturbed between SAP ERP and iVend, okay. So in that case, you need to check for a particular product and a particular warehouse where the mismatch is coming, okay. If the mismatch you are able to identify for which particular product it is coming, then you need to check, okay, which particular documents are available in the ERP but they have not been posted correctly in the iVend. Or it could be a reverse case also. A document is available in iVend but it is not fully integrated, or it got partially integrated or got wrongly integrated to the ERP. So it could be a product issue for which you have to raise a ticket with the support, CXS support, or the first level of analysis you can do yourself, and you can identify those documents in the ERP itself that reveals the information that why the mismatch persists in the landscape. Okay, so this issue is completed fully. So now let's move on to the next issue, that is iVend integration, common errors between SAP B1 and iVend Enterprise. The most commonly used ERP by most of our partners and customers is SAP B1. So we have created a separate segment for this particular issue to be addressed, because integration has been written by CityAccess only to integrate data between SAP B1 and iVend. So we have just picked up some common issues. Those are reported by the partners and customers. So the problem statement is iVend to SAP Business One showing one error. Item cost found for one or more items in iVend integration failure. So the error is item cost found for one or more items. So how to resolve this? Okay, you just need to go to the login to the SAP B1 inventory, and then go to inventory transactions, and then click on inventory revaluation, and pick the product for same warehouse and define the new cost and update it. And then you need to go back to the integration monitor, that is this screen, and click on retry failures, and then check whether the document gets integrated or not. Also, I would give a small piece of advice. Suppose there are 15-20 documents, those are yet to be integrated to the SAP B1. Okay. Now, if you do a retry, okay, that document doesn't mean that it will be prioritized. Okay. If you want to prioritize that document that was created in with an earlier date stamp, okay, but because you have retried it, it goes back to the queue in the instead of ascending order, it goes to the descending order. So you will always have to do, after the retry, you will always have the best practice will be stop the integration service, perform the retry, and then restart the integration service back again. So that the document that was uh, topmost in the queue, okay, will be first integrated. It will not get appended to the in the last. So it will work if you do a service restart, then it works on FIFO manner, that is first in first out. But if you don't do a service restart and retry a document, then it is a FILO, that is first in last out. Okay. So let's move to the next common error for between iVend and SAP V1. So the error message is gift certificates PRO 078 not found or mapped in SBO. Okay. The solution to this is uh, go to SAP V1 login, go to administration system initialization, iVend retail, click on retail tender, and then you would see over here that a gift certificate PRO 78 is there. Now you just need to click on the update button. Again, go to the SAP B1, retry, stop the integration service, retry the failure, and then restart the integration service. And this should resolve the issue. The next one is customer code is inactive. Okay. Now, in order to resolve this issue, you just need to log into SAP back again, click on business partner master data, and select the customer and make it as active. If you see over here, it is marked as inactive. If you change it to active and click on update, and then again go back to your integration and stop the integration service, retry the record, and start the integration service back again. And that will resolve the issue. The next common issue is iVend purchase order is already closed. Okay. Okay. Log into the SAP, open the purchase order, and check the status. If the status is closed, okay, that means the user has created the GRP in iVend, and at the same time, some SAP user also created the PO in SAP. So to solve this issue, just retry the record, and the issue will get resolved. Uh, the next one is inactive sales employee. Specify an active sales employee. So in order to resolve this, again you need to go to the SAP B1, setup general, click on sales employees bias. The specific employee, that is a sales employee, like in this case it is USR001. So you just need to make it active. Just check on this flag and click on update, and again go back to the SAP integration monitor, stop the integration, retry it, and start the integration back again. The next error is no matching record found, ODBC-2028. Okay. Now let's see how to resolve this issue. Go to the accounting tab in SAP. In the warehouse screen, check whether the GL accounting is defined or not. Okay. Freight accounts not defined in SAP, tax code accounts not defined in SAP, GL. So please check if the same GL account determination section under the administration setup financial. Related item does not exist in SAP or marked deleted from SAP. Salesperson attached not available in SAP or deleted. So and then do a retry in the integration in the integration failure monitor, and again restart the integration service, and it will integrate the record to SAP B1. Moving on to the next error, that is a network related or instance specific error occurred while establishing a connection. The server was not found or was not accessible. I think this one is pretty much self-explanatory, that you can just check the configuration over here. Just stop the integration and click on update button. So if there is any connection failure, if you click on update, okay, it will show a red message, red bar over here, that it is unable to connect here. Okay, that it is unable to connect to the SAP V1 system, then due to which this error is coming. So I think this one is pretty much self-explanatory, because if there is a network issue, definitely you are not able to connect either to the HANA DB or the SQL Server on which the SAP DB is installed. So because of connectivity or network failure, this error basically comes into the picture. So moving to the last error, the error code is incoming payments not matches with outgoing payment. Okay. Now, in order to resolve this issue, okay, suppose if the record is stuck as the amount difference is not defined in SAP under the following, the path is admin setup financial currency, incoming amount difference allowed and outgoing difference allowed. So it is a basically kind of a setting. Okay, so the best is to enable that setting and stop the integration service, retry the related record, update and restart the service, and then this particular document should also get integrated with the SAP B1. So this is the last error that we have covered up in today's session. So you can please ask any question if you want in regard to the session we have yesterday. We are having today. Any questions? I think Carl, you also joined pretty late because in the beginning of the session itself, I have informed you uh, that we would be sending you the PDF guide after Friday's session. You will receive from our marketing and communication team. So we discussed this yesterday also that I would be sending within 24 hours, but after Friday's session, we will be sending this PPT and uh, other relevant artifacts after Friday. So you will receive the copy. Any other questions or queries? If any one of you have, please let me know. Any questions? Okay. I think it's good and we can conclude the session. Okay, we got a question. So Ricardo, do you want to send me any other questions? Okay. I think then it is good to conclude this session for today. And thanks again for to all of you for joining the session. And you all have a nice day and a nice evening. Let's meet tomorrow again at the same time, and we will deliver the next session on iVend for supporting level 1 and level 2 issues. Thanks once again to all of you. Thank you. Bye.